My wife mocked me for wanting a paternity test, saying, "Only pathetic men need those." I just smiled when the results showed I wasn't the dad. Her lover's DNA from a BBQ glass was a perfect match. Sarah and I had been married 6 years when we finally got pregnant. After 2 years of trying, fertility apps, scheduled sex, monthly disappointments, we saw that positive test. I spun her around our kitchen like some movie scene. I was going to be a dad. Then things changed. She password protected her phone overnight, started taking calls outside the room. Her phone stayed face down on every surface. When I asked who she was texting, she'd say, "Just Katie," and change subjects. Jackson was born after 16 hours of labor. I cut the cord, ugly cried, called him my boy 1,000 times, but everyone kept saying, "He has your nose," and I couldn't see it. The kid looked nothing like us. Sarah and I both have brown hair, brown eyes. Her whole family is dark-haired. Mine too. 3 generations of brown-eyed Johnsons. Jackson had bright blue eyes and reddish blonde hair. Nobody in 4 generations had that combination. Then the blood type issue. I'm a positive. Sarah's O negative. Jackson's birth certificate showed B positive. When I mentioned it, Sarah got defensive. The hospital made a mistake. "Why are you checking that?" My best friend Nate started coming over constantly during her pregnancy, bringing cravings, building the crib, texting her daily. I walked in on them laughing in the nursery once. Sarah in the rocking chair, Nate's hand on her belly. They got quiet fast. I ordered a DNA test. Told Sarah one night, thinking she'd understand. Instead, she laughed in my face. "Oh my God, Marcus. Seriously? You think I had some secret affair? With who?" She turned it into a running joke. Every diaper change. "Better make sure he's yours first." She posted pictures of me doing the test on Instagram with captions about paranoid first-time dads. 2 weeks later, the email hit. Probability of paternity, 0%. Not 99.9%, 0. 5 months of midnight feedings and pediatrician visits, all for someone else's kid. I swabbed Nate's water glass at a BBQ, mailed off another test. Results, 0% match with him too. Then my dad called. "Son, your mom and I want to give you and Jess your inheritance early, 400,000 each." 2 days later, Sarah became a financial expert. "We should put the inheritance in both our names for tax purposes." She'd never mentioned taxes once in 6 years. "Then I added myself to your savings account. The bank said it makes things easier." I called my sister Jess, told her everything. The paternity test, Sarah's sudden interest in money. "Mark, inheritance is separate property, unless you mix it with marital assets," Jess said. "Once you put that money in joint accounts, she gets half. Sarah's setting you up for divorce." The word hit like a sledgehammer, but it made perfect sense. The timing, the paternity situation, the money moves. I spent the next week transferring everything to Jess's name. New accounts, trusts, consultation with a cutthroat divorce attorney. On paper, I looked broke. In reality, I was bulletproof. I still needed to know who the father was. At another BBQ, I swabbed David's glass, Sarah's married boss, who'd been at several gatherings. Results, 99.99% match. Sarah called days later. "Marcus, we need to talk. I've been unhappy. I think we should separate." "Okay," I said. The shock in her voice was priceless. "That's all you have to say? What else is there?" She started laughing, cold, mocking. "You pathetic loser. You'll be paying for Jackson until he's 18. That inheritance? Mine. By the time my lawyer finishes, you'll wish you'd never been born. We'll see." Divorce papers came 3 days later. The house, half of everything including the inheritance she thought I had, full custody, child support, and alimony. We dropped our response. Paternity test showing Jackson wasn't mine. Financial records showing minimal assets. Documentation proving inheritance never mixed with marital funds. And the smoking gun, fertility clinic records showing Sarah had been getting birth control shots the entire time we were trying. Her lawyer's face was priceless. Kept flipping through evidence, looking at Sarah, back to papers. "You told me he had significant inheritance." Sarah turned red. "He does. He's hiding it." My lawyer laid out bank statements. "My client's accounts show minimal assets. His inheritance remains in family trusts, never commingled." Her lawyer asked for a recess. Through the door, lied to me about basic facts. Paternity changes everything. We hit David with paternity papers. Judge ordered the test. Results came back 99.99% match. David's face went white. His wife sat in the back row looking ready to commit murder. Judge's ruling. David established as biological father. Ordered to pay child support. No spousal support from me. No child support from me. Assets split. Only included actual marital property. $100,000 total. Inheritance stayed untouched. Sarah ordered to pay all my legal fees because of fraud.